All right, we are live. Welcome everyone to our third installment of our Distorted Conversations broadcast. My name is Chris, alias Chris Reaper, and I'll be your host for this evening. Joining me tonight is a very special guest. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, Dante, aka October Panic Attack. Dude, thank you for joining me tonight.
Oh, thank you, Chris.
And I will provide Dante's channel when this goes archived on YouTube. I'll provide a link to his channel. I would please ask everyone who's watching and listening to please go over to his channel, watch and subscribe. He's got some really funny, informative, and solid stuff. So speaking of which, Dante, why don't you tell the folks a little bit about your channel and what its main focus is?
Oh, definitely. The YouTube channel has been around for approximately 8 years, and the primary focus initially started off as reviews of haunted attractions in the New Jersey and Pennsylvania areas, and then also beyond that, out of the country. And all the while I was doing those reviews, I was making, a variety of videos and started to kind of meld my movie making into the reviews, and then consequently started to film mini commercial/movies at each of the haunted attractions that I was reviewing. And so now it's become this haunted attraction, weird, low budget movie presentation of a YouTube channel. So that's essentially where it's at.
Awesome. And where do you plan on going to this Halloween? Do you have any new places in mind, or?
Yeah, that's always the biggest challenge. The biggest challenge is which ones do we want to do again, because I'm just selfishly obsessed with that one. And then which ones do we want to kind of branch out with? One thing's for sure, mom and pops are something that have become near and dear to my heart for many reasons. But definitely the Haunted Elks Lodge, which is in kind of the Norristown area of Pennsylvania, kind of right outside of there. And also the freaking Funhouse in Bowmanstown, Pennsylvania. These are the mom and pops are just they're the wildest boundary breaking haunted houses around. They're just wild.
Tell me about it, because they don't have anybody to answer to. So
Oh, yeah, they're crazy, man. They're crazy. Yeah. So definitely more on the mom and pop scale. I mean, I almost feel sometimes like the channel, as you asked about the YouTube, I feel like the channel has given kind of some publicity to these mom and pops, and the big dogs don't need it, So, and the big dogs are great though. I'm a supporter of them, but I really want to focus on those mom and pops to tell people about them.
Absolutely, they need that. They need that publicity. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
So, and also a thing that I notice about the mom and pop places is they're kind of like the little guy on the block, so they always have something to prove.
Yes.
So, you can expect some, more daring, more deadly stuff from these little mom and pop shacks places than you would from something like, I don't know, Bates Motel that's so commercial and so over the top,
Exactly. I mean, what haunted house do you know about has a Nazi gas chamber in it? I mean, the freaking Funhouse. What? Why would anybody in their right mind do something like that? So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we're dealing with here.
That's awesome. But okay, I'm going to ask you, what's been your favorite so far within the last 5 years?
Obviously, a lot of people ask me that, and I always find it difficult because there's different aspects of what I love that are sometimes satisfied in like 6 or 7 different haunts. But some of my favorites, definitely, I just name dropped it, would be the freaking Funhouse. Another one would be a stone's throw away from the freaking Funhouse. It's called Halls of Horror.
Right.
And the Elks Haunted Lodge would be another one. So those are just some, but there are. I mean, when you look at the YouTube channel, you can tell right off the bat what what Altered Nightmares, Hotel of Horror is another one. There's some really, really wild places, and the mom and pops tend to be my favorite ones.
Awesome. What's the farthest that you've ever traveled to go to these places? Because I know that you central, like you focus on like the Philadelphia area and like South Jersey, but have you gone any farther than that?
Yeah, I definitely have. My wife and I got married in Canada, and Canada has approximately seven 365-day a year hunts
No shit.
in the Niagara, area, and so in the Canadian border. And there is one there that we have gone to Canada precisely for all of the hunts there. But there's one that is probably my favorite of all time. It's called Nightmares Fear Factory, and it's in an old coffin. It used to be a coffin warehouse, and the Canadians do not have the same rules we have here. So consequently, they are able to. It's very, very psychological, and it's very, very psychological, man. Very, very psychological. It took me 25 minutes to go in.
Really?
Because I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. I actually bailed out the first time.
That's great.
I mean, it's we're talking like if you look them up, they actually take a picture of you at some point during it, and everybody looks absolutely horrified. Yeah, it plays on a totally different level. So the furthest I've gone is Canada, and they have, like I said, 6 or 7 all year round. Yeah.
Crazy. Wow. There's one all year round one that I heard too. It's I think it's in New York.
Yes.
And do you know the name of it?
Are you talking about Blackout?
Blackout. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, never been because that's like I think that's the one you go in solo and
yes, this is the one that's why I want to try it, dude.
yeah, and it's like it's definitely on another level in terms of like the adult themes, and it's like very rough and like it's kind of going real close to that physical like these new ones that are going on now where they're tying you up and all this stuff.
Yeah. We just went to last Halloween. We went to Eastern State Penitentiary.
Yes.
And I don't care what anybody says. That's got to be hands down. That one and Penhurst has to be one of my favorites.
Oh, Penhurst! I'm glad you just brought that up. That has always been. I forgot to say it. That's probably my favorite big dog. That's my favorite big dog.
Right.
Yeah,
and
State I love too, man. You're right. I love them too.
And I went with my sister and another friend of ours, and they give you like these necklaces where you could like, if you're seen wearing these necklaces, they can actually touch you and grab you and all this other kind of stuff.
Yes.
And my sister kind of like, because I'm tall and my sister's like really, really short, so they're not gonna hesitate to go mess with her. So they grabbed her in a way, and man, let me tell you, this dude would not let go. She was like, all right, man, all right, like so she ended up hating him. Like, well, that's where you got the necklace so they could touch you like that. She got pissed off.
Hey man, I brought my mom in there, and she didn't know why she was getting a necklace. She said, what is that? I said, no problem, Mom, don't worry about it. Everything's fine. And I was the worst son ever because he's getting thrown up against a fence. I mean, it was out of control.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go all out. Just on another note, dude, I just posted the link to the stream on my page. I tried to post it to yours, but it said that you wouldn't allow it on your timeline. I don't know if you want to.
I'm gonna put it on right now, man. Yeah, because sometimes I get some screwy stuff, so I gotta.
Trust me, I believe it.
Awesome. I'm gonna put that up right now. Yeah, I mean that is definitely Penhurst and Eastern State, and I would probably say another one of my favorites, especially in the past couple of years, is Fright Factory in Philadelphia.
You know what? I never really got that much into Fright Factory. The first year I went, it was okay, but for some reason, I just thought that they declined in quality for a little bit. I mean, that's just me.
Which when was the last time you went? Because they changed a lot in the past, probably year, 2 years.
Yeah, I think it was about 2 years ago, the last time I went.
A lot of things have changed there, and that's what I was really like. I was like excited about. A lot of things have changed there.
Did you go last year though?
I went last year, and that was pretty stellar. If you went now, you would probably not recognize It's pretty brutal. It's very brutal actually. Now I actually took my mom to that also because I'm a psycho. And
yeah.
she said, "Oh, I like this one better than that one last year. I liked it. I thought it was scarier than Eastern State." I said, "Oh, okay, all right."
Wow.
So yeah, it was. Yeah, every year it seems to Fright Factory seems to be different in some way. Yeah, it's always something different in there. A lot of places are changing a lot. So sometimes you go back and you're like, wow, to a place that you were like, before, you know?
Right. Because I remember that you said on your first trip to Penhurst that you weren't all that impressed, right? Like their first year out, like I think it was 2011, 2012, something like that.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, you know what it was? I don't think it was me. I think I said something like I was hearing that people were not impressed when it first came out. So I actually didn't go because I knew it was kind of expensive and I was limited on my budget. So I said, you know what? I'm going to back off this. I've been hearing a lot of bad things about the first year.
Right.
I'll give them 2 years. Let me see. I went back the second year. I was blown away.
Yeah, I didn't go till like their second year open. I'm like, man, this is awesome. This is great. I want to come here every year.
Oh my gosh. That was actually my favorite year. My favorite year at Penrith was the second year.
The second year, right?
Oh, it was I almost had to be carted out of the tunnel because I was having a full-blown panic attack in the tunnel.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah. There's a reason why it's called October Panic Attack. Yeah.
Right. So like, how did you like? You probably get a lot of people asking me this too. Like, how did you first get into haunted attractions?
It's the woman that I just mentioned, my mom. She basically got me into horror movies, but also got me into haunted attractions. I was raised. It seems like there's different camps of people for the shore. I was a kid who was raised on Wildwood Boardwalk. That's my thing. That's my thing. The Wildwood Boardwalk. That's where I was. So consequently, since I was there all the time, Castle Dracula was one of my biggest influences. That was the first haunted house, and then all the mom and pops on the boardwalk that were run by actual gypsies. These were the places that schooled me in horror, in haunted houses, and haunted attractions.
Right.
And they were run by real gypsies, and they didn't have any rules, and they were probably breaking all insurance codes. But I was terrified of them, and I loved them. So that's where it all started. It started in the summer heat of Wildwood, New Jersey, with bikinis and cotton candy. Yeah.
That's awesome. And we have one viewer on. Welcome, whoever you are. You're free to ask questions if you want. Let me go because I actually have a ton of questions here that I got on Tumblr.
Nice.
So we can start with those until we actually get some stream questions. Bubba, 1 second. And since I knew that Dante was going to be the guest for one of the special guests for tonight's stream, I asked my Tumblr followers to like kind of focus their questions more on like Halloween and horror. And since I know you're kind of sort of all things scary, we're going to focus on that. Probably going to get a lot of questions that are going to focus on that tonight.
Oh, great. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right. First Tumblr question we have here. Spammer213 asks, favorite Charlton Heston movie or role?
Wow. Are you answering this too, Chris?
Yes. I mean, you're free. You're free to go first.
Because the types of films I watch don't typically have Charlton Heston in them. The one I will say is going to be absolutely horrifying to all Charlton Heston fans out there, but it's going to be, I believe he had a cameo in Wayne.
In the new Planet of the Apes?
No, actually, Wayne's World 2.
Wow. I thought you were going to say that. I'm like, yes, that would horrify me, dude.
No, I'm even getting weirder than that. I'm going to say Wayne's World 2. That I know, it's blasphemy. But yeah.
Yeah, I did forget he was in that.
Yeah, it's for like 5 seconds.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, my favorite Charlton Heston role, hands down, is the original Planet of the Apes. I mean, he absolutely killed in that movie. He's like, I mean, that role that he played, Commander Taylor, was just like is so influential to me because the guy is so cynical, and I'm like, every time I watch that movie, I'm like, that's me on the screen. You know, he just, oh my god, I think he's one of the greatest cinematic characters like ever devised.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's like, it's so ironic. He's such a cynic, and yet the movie turns around and makes him like the sole defender of like humanity. I love it.
Hey, there's a reason why he gets the props. There's a reason why. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, in my opinion, I think he's one of the greatest actors ever.
Oh yeah, most people's opinion. I mean, I think a lot of people would be with you on that one. Oh yeah.
So, all right. Next question. Go from, man, some of these handles that these people have on Tumblr, I'll tell you. Jack Skellington 10. This one's a good one. Favorite Jason Voorhees kill.
Oh, this is my territory here, man.
There you go.
Well, I'm gonna go. It's Friday the 13th Part 2. There's a scene where obviously he doesn't have the hockey mask for that whole film, but there's a scene where this girl that just sprayed perfume in her underpants and she's wearing her underwear. She runs up to this room where she thinks her two friends are having sex, but she sees that the bed is filled with blood, and she pulls the sheet back, and Jason jumps out of the bed and he stabs her with this spear in her stomach. And her face is so horrifying that to this day it still scars me.
I do remember that one. Yeah.
He looks like she's like this vulnerable, like it's just horrible. It's like, oh my gosh. So that one right there is my favorite.
Awesome. Let me see. I'm gonna go back and forth. It's between two. The one where the kid is on like the folding cot and he just snaps the bed in two.
Yes.
And the one from Freddy versus Jason where they're in the cornfield and he takes this kid's head and he just snaps it all the way around.
Yes.
I can't decide between those two, but those two is like, oh my god, those are the most iconic kills I could ever see. They're awesome.
Oh, you picked some very brutal. The whole body is messed up in yours.
Yeah, they're just like mangled. I'm like, that's so awesome. Could a human body even really do that?
You know what? I have a friend who does a lot of October Panic Attack events, and he works at a morgue in Philly, and he would probably say they do. Yeah.
Wow. You do know some messed up people, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, he's a great guy. He just has some horrible stories.
I would imagine working in a morgue, you know?
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
All right, what do we got here? Next question is from Tooth Fairy Drill. Favorite work from H.P. Lovecraft?
Oh, yeah.
That's a loaded one right there.
You know, it's funny because I'm mostly all cinema. I don't really read that much anymore, other than like horror publications, like magazines and things like that. So the majority of everything I do is cinema now, is movies. So I'm probably going to have to go with inspired movies that were inspired by Lovecraft's work, and I think undoubtedly I'm going to have to go with Reanimator.
Reanimator, yeah, that's one what a lot of people would agree with you there. Man, I'm such a fan of Lovecraft. It's so hard to pick between his stories. I'm gonna have to go with the Mountains of Madness, or At the Mountains of Madness.
I can't believe you just said that, man, because in the back of my head I was thinking of that John Carpenter film.
Yeah, The Thing.
And that is an awesome and the story, you know, the actual Lovecraft story with that is the whole thing. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, it's funny that they did a interview with Carpenter, and he's and you know, he was talking about his inspiration for the movie. Carpenter's movie is actually a remake of an old 1950s thing, but he was saying that a lot of his, because I mean, besides the title of the movie, almost, you know, it's an entirely different premise.
Yeah.
And he was like, he pulled his inspiration right out of the Mountains of Madness. He goes, I mean, there was never a better horror master than H.P. Lovecraft, and I really couldn't agree more.
Yeah, he's getting his props now too. If you notice, it's just happening more and more. People are talking about Lovecraft more and more now. Yeah.
He was. I mean, if there was another writer or author that I could give props to, is of course Edgar Allan Poe.
Of course. Oh yeah.
And you know, in the writings of Lovecraft, he actually cites Poe as, you know, one of the biggest inspirations of his life.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you know, you go Edgar Allan Poe, you go H.P. Lovecraft, and then, you know, right on down the line to people like Stephen King and, you know, people like that. There's just like a whole succession of the, you know, these masters of horror that they just draw off one another, you know?
Oh my gosh! And Edgar Allan Poe. I mean, speaking of him, and you're talking about attractions in Philadelphia, his home is there. In
Yeah.
North Philly, and it's not a haunted house, but there's sections in there where you can go into various rooms and just get really creeped out and hear his works being read. Yeah, so it's some cool stuff.
Absolutely. Well, let's see. All right, I'm going to ask you, are you in any way familiar with comics?
Not as much. As I said, typically my medium is movies. But in terms of comics, I'm really selective. Probably I have some very obscure tastes. I like a lot of Rob Zombie comics,
Okay.
Spook Show International. And actually, I own the entire set of Blair Witch comics. I have some bizarre taste in comics.
Really? I didn't even know they had a Blair Witch comic series.
Very bizarre, man. Very bizarre. But other than that, I'm not as well versed in that. Are you somebody who definitely has a knowledge base to that?
Oh, dude, you're probably talking to one of the biggest comic book geeks ever to grace the screen. But how are you familiar with Batman villains? Because that's what I mean. The reason I'm asking is this next question has a, you know, something to do with like an obscure Batman villain that I know very well, but I know a lot of other people won't.
Oh my gosh, man! You know what? It's probably going to challenge me. I'm probably not going to know it. I'm probably not going to know it, especially if it's coming from, you know, specifically the comics from the comic series or from the original television show. I couldn't.
Oh yeah, the Adam West show.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask it. Christopher Mulberry asks Hannibal Lecter versus Victor Zsasz. Now, Victor Zsasz is not a very well-known Batman villain. He's kind of one of the more intelligent ones, and he's kind of, I would say anyway, almost on par with the Joker. What his thing is, you know, he's like one of the classic psychopaths. He's like almost like a horror movie villain too, where, you know, all he does is just slash people up. And what his gimmick is for every victim that he kills, he carves a tally number on his body. So his body is just full of like tally marks.
Oh my gosh!
Right. I think the villain is just, you know, pure creative genius, and he's absolutely one of my favorites. And of course, everybody knows about Hannibal Lecter. Let me see. If I were to choose between Hannibal Lecter versus Victor Zsasz, God dang, that is a freaking hard question.
Man, I gotta say, after hearing about this Victor, I mean, he sounds badass.
Yeah, dude, you got to look him up. That's like one of the most badass Batman villains. I mean, and he's so obscure. I don't know why.
Wow, man. I mean, anybody who would keep the tallies on their own body. I mean, there's plenty of killers who make a mark on the person's body that they killed, but to put it on your own body.
Right. And that's like his whole gimmick thing is he just, you know, he keeps a record. The record of his victims is on himself, is on his body. So,
oh my gosh,
you know, he's one of Batman's more intelligent villains too. You know, not like, you know, people like Clayface or, you know, anybody on down the line, but he's definitely in the comics. He's actually challenged the Joker a number of times, and it always ends up being a draw.
My gosh, man, that amazes me because the Batman series has such horrific and like really sadistic villains.
They do.
It's really it's impressive, man.
They do. But to get back to the question, holy crap! All right, I'm gonna have to go with Victor Zsasz on this one. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Hannibal Lecter as a villain, as a movie villain. I think he's awesome. But in the terms of sheer intelligence, I'm gonna have to go with Victor. That's just me. So,
you know, after telling me, this stuff right here, I'm always gonna go with the guy who actually hurts himself as well.
Exactly right.
So sorry, he's the guy I'm going with. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. You heard it here, folks. October Panic Attack goes with a villain he's never even heard of.
That's right. That's right.
Over Hannibal Lecter.
Hey, come on, Chris. On the playground when you were younger, the one guy that you got to fear is the guy that actually hurts himself, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh, man. All right. Next question we have on Tumblr. Okay. Further My Destiny 1298. All right. Are you at all familiar with the Assassin's Creed series video games?
No, not. I mean, I'm familiar with it in terms of that my friends are. I have a lot of friends who are hardcore into it,
right?
And then many other games as well. But no, not myself personally. Again, it is so crazy, Chris. I mean, I probably watch about 13 to 14 movies a weekend. So I am just seeped in films. And no,
film, right?
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not as familiar with the Assassin's Creed, but I definitely know it. You know, in terms of just hearing about it. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I've played, let's see, I've played the first one, second one, and Black Flag. I know there's probably two others, but my favorite out of those three would definitely be Black Flag. And the reason I say that is because I'm a big fan of Grand Theft Auto. Oh, and this is basically, Assassin's Creed Black Flag is basically a kind of pirate's version of Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because what the whole game is you're basically sailing on a pirate ship, and you're commandeering missions. You're trying to find different treasure maps. You're trying to find all these different things, and there are map quests and all these kinds of things. But you're trying to escape the British privateers. So it's kind of like you're the GTA villain running from the cops, but it's in an Assassin's Creed type setting.
Wow.
So wow. I mean, I just love the gameplay on that one. So I'm gonna have to go with Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Is it pretty edgy?
Further My Destiny.
Is it pretty edgy too, like Grand Theft?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. Wow, man.
All right, I just got a message from one of my supposed parishioners. He's not gonna be able to make it tonight. All right, Arun. Thanks, dude. Anyway, maybe I'll get you on. Maybe I'll get you on next month. All right. Looks like it's going to be just you and me for a while, dude. But that's okay.
Oh, man. And as the questions pour in about comic books and video games, and Charlton Heston, man, I'm screwed.
No, I'm looking at the questions here. We have some ones that are probably right up your alley, so not to worry. Okay. Otis Tool 89 says, have you ever heard of the band Demon Hunter?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. I definitely have. I actually saw them live when they first started. It was at the Trocadero in Philadelphia. Yeah, no, definitely. I have their first album actually. So yeah.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it's funny that this question comes up. Demon Hunter is my all-time favorite band.
Wow.
I love them.
Are you serious, man?
I love them. They are great.
I know about them, man.
You know what? And I don't understand. I was like, I've mentioned that band to some other people, like, who? What? I'm like, what? How have you not heard of Demon Hunter?
Oh, my gosh, man. That's wild. Yeah. I mean, I knew about them too. I was into a band called Zayo.
I've heard of them. I
kind of knew them because Demon Hunter used to tour with them a lot. So it was kind of like this back and forth. But yeah, oh, definitely. I've lost track of them though in the past years. But I remember that logo, man. That crazy like horned logo.
Right, with the bullet right through the forehead.
Yes, yes.
The bullet hole right through the forehead. It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
And they've done so many variations of that logo too, but it all goes back to that original logo that they had on their first CD. So
oh wow, man. I had no idea that. Look at that. That's one of your favorite bands.
That is my favorite band, dude. Like my all-time favorite.
Gosh.
Love them.
And they've kept going, right? Like they keep going.
Their last album, I think, came out, if I'm not mistaken, a year ago.
Okay.
It could have been sooner, but that's the last one that I've heard. And yeah, they just keep on going. They haven't slowed down at all.
And any band with a singer that has a humongous beard is I'm a big fan of, right there,
I mean, well, you got him, you got no, Disturbed. Disturbed does the lead singer doesn't have a band, right? Or a beard, does he?
Yeah, he might have something though, because the singer of Demon Hunter has a bald head from what I remember.
Yeah.
And when you have a bald head, see, it's one thing for me, like I have long hair and a beard, but when you have a bald head and a beard, you look crazy.
Yeah.
So
they have that one. Have you ever heard of the band of Red?
wait, just Red?
Just Red.
No, I don't think I have.
They're awesome, dude. And let me tell you, I mean, okay, the lead singer from Demon Hunter, Disturbed, and Red, they could all be brothers because they all look identical with the bald head and the beard of the skull, and they all sound the same too. I was like, wow, you guys know each other? Yeah, you got to check them out though. I mean, they have some awesome. In fact, they just had a brand new release album last month.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I'm checking it out. Red, just Red.
Just Red, right?
Okay, I'm checking it out definitely.
Cool.
Oh wow.
All right, this one's another comic book question. I'm going to steer out of that one. Let's see. Okay. I don't know if let me ask this one. Battlestar Galactica dude asks, which was the more influential author in your opinion, H.G. Wells or Jules Verne?
Gosh.
You're talking about two titans of sci-fi here, man.
Oh my gosh. Wow, man, that is a pretty crazy question too. I mean, it's not a question you hear every day. I mean, both of them are hardcore in our Americana. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know what? In my personal life, I'm probably going to go with Jules Verne, just because it was the first library book that I didn't return for about 15 years. So I'm probably no, but I mean, I think I enjoyed his stuff more. But they're both great. Yeah, gosh, man, I'll probably go with Vernon. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna have to agree with you on that, because even though I do like the time traveling element, a lot of what H.G. Wells writes, Jules Verne has written or wrote one of my all time favorite stories, and that's Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh yes.
That's so I that one takes the cake with me, and I'm gonna go with Verne. You know, I'm team Jules Verne all the way.
Oh no, definitely. And I actually used to, when I was a kid, I was schooled on his stuff because I used to get his stories on those little 45 records, if you remember that.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, with the full color book, oh man, it was awesome. But yeah, I just have a lot more of him in my life than H.G. Wells. So yeah, definitely Vernon.
Awesome. All right, we are up to 5 viewers. Still no questions yet, but it's still early. And I have to say this because a lot of people, any new viewers that are checking this out, if you're leaving YouTube comments, we can't actually see the comments or questions on the YouTube channel. What you'll have to do is you'll have to go on the video. There's a little button that says join the conversation. Hit that. It'll take you to this stream, and then up on top in the, I guess, the left-hand corner, you'll see a Q&A app. Hit that, and you'll be able to ask questions that way. All right, now that I got that out of the way, let's go to more questions we have on Tumblr. Okay, good one. Doc Brown12 asks, whose films do you prefer, Ridley Scott or Stanley Kubrick?
Okay, once again, love them both, but without a doubt in my mind, one of my favorite directors of all time is Stanley Kubrick.
Kubrick.
I mean, The Shining is one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm gonna have to go with the Mr. Kubrick there on that one. But I love Ridley Scott at the same time. Because I'm an Alien fan, I'm even a Prometheus fan. I'm I'm Blade Runner, all that stuff. But Kubrick with Clockwork Orange, The Shining, Eyes Wide Shut. I'm definitely gonna go with Kubrick on this one.
All right, and this is where I'm gonna have to skew the boat here. I'm gonna go with Ridley Scott because, like you said, Blade Runner, Alien, they shaped my freaking childhood. So
Nice, man.
I'm gonna go with Mr. Scott on this one, even though that's no diss to Stanley Kubrick. I respect all the man's work. I mean, I love Full Metal Jacket.
Oh,
I love 2001: A Space Odyssey.
yes, yes.
You know, I would never take anything away from the man's work, but you know, personally, I would just have to go with Ridley Scott for that one.
And were you a fan of Prometheus when he did that?
That was the new one that came out, right?
Yeah.
Yes, dude, I can't wait for the sequel. I want to know where they're going with this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he said it's not. He said Prometheus wasn't a prequel, but I mean, it kind of felt like it was.
Yeah, because you have like the giant face hugger.
Yeah.
And I mean, but my intrigue, I mean, I like the movie in and of itself, but what intrigued me most was the end. I'm like, okay, they're on the spaceship. She's with this, you know, weird robot head, and are they going to the alien home planet?
Right. Right.
So
right. Yeah. No. Exactly. It was. There's a lot of things that could be opened up. So I'm excited, and I hope that he does it soon.
okay, next one. How are you familiar with like Japanese monster movies at all?
I am definitely familiar with some Japanese monster movies. A lot of the majority of the Japanese movies that I'm familiar with are the really, really dark, whacked out, twisted stuff.
Like some of the anime stuff they do.
No, not even the animated. Just like this crazy stuff, like this one called Ichi the Killer, and there's just like this really, really wild, crazy stuff that's out there. But I might know, depending on the question. Yeah, I might know some of the monster stuff.
Okay, River Navigator 777 asks top 3 Japanese kaiju or top 3 Japanese monsters, I guess.
Oh, see, now that I would not be able to do for 3. Although, because I have had limited. I mean, I'm you know what? I'll just say this off the bat. I can't get 3, but I'll say 1 right off the bat. Does Mothra count?
Absolutely, he's a kaiju. There you go.
You know that creature right there just rocks my world. Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to go with Mothra on that one.
All right, my top 3 Japanese kaiju. Oh boy, you know what? It would be such a cop out if I said Godzilla. But I'm gonna go with Gigan, Rodan, and a third one. I don't know if I can even name a third one. Jeez, I've seen a few Mothra movies. I'm not a big fan of Mothra. I'm just really not, you know. I just never really could grasp my head around the idea of a giant butterfly being that much of a threat, but that's just me.
That's what the hell is this? Yeah.
Jeez, I don't know. I'm trying to name a third one here. I'm really digging. What's that giant turtle? The one with the Gamera.
Yes.
Gamera.
I forgot about that. That's right.
So I'm gonna go with Gigan, Gamera, and the other one that I named Rodan. Those are my top 3.
Yeah, I'm glad you just mentioned those names because you just brought some things to mind. You've reminded me of a few of them right off the bat. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, watch. She's gonna go after the stream, go and download a bunch of Japanese monster movies and get caught up.
Oh yeah. I'll be on Amazon tonight. Yeah, because the whole collector thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, I mean, did you see the new Godzilla that came out last year?
No, I did not, but I heard great things about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I did. I heard great things about it.
You know what? Now that I mentioned that, I'm going to take back one of my answers. There's this one in the new Godzilla. They're called Mutos. Massive, unidentified terrestrial organisms, and they're like the villains that Godzilla fights. They just looked awesome. I'm going to go with them for my third one. They were just great. And, dude, the final fight in the movie, you will be tripping over yourself. When I was in the theater and that final fight came up, everyone in that theater just stood up and started clapping. It was It was epic.
That is awesome.
Oh man. All right, let's move on to the next question. Okay, have you ever played the board game Risk?
Yeah, I definitely have. I mean, I have not played it as much as Clue.
That's Clue. Okay.
As Clue or Twister. That was always a fun one. But no, Risk. Yeah, Risk. I have played, but it's been a really long time. Actually, it's been a really long time.
Have you ever? Which I mean, because they got like 80 different versions of it. I mean, have you just played the original or?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I just played the original. Man, I didn't even know they had so many versions of it.
Yeah. 1 second, Dante. My phone's ringing.
Oh, sure.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, no problem.
Okay, now what the question actually is, 21 Style Animator asks, what is your favorite version of the game Risk? Now, I've only played 3 versions. I played the original, I played the future version, and I played the Lord of the Rings version.
Oh my gosh. Wait, what was the future version, man?
The future version is, I believe it's 2291 or something like that. And it's basically the same premise, but what they've done is, since it's the future, they've added nuclear disaster areas.
Wow.
On the board. They have underwater bases, and plus they have moon bases.
Huh.
So the game is pretty awesome. I only played it one time, but that one time I played, I'm like, this is pretty awesome. And like the original game could go on for at least 4 or 5 hours. This game could go on for at least 8. So I'm gonna go with it's a tough call between the original and the future version Risk. So, oh man, I'm just gonna go with a cop out and say the original because that's the one that I grew up on. So.
And there was one, I think, from the 80s, and I didn't play it, but it was the castle Risk. And it was basically you were protecting the castle from from attackers, but it was like a really cool, just a cool like theme of just like it's like medieval castle warfare.
Right. They've got one. It's called Risk Godstorm, and what it is they have all like the gods of every ancient mythology, like they're separated on their own country or their own continent, and they're actually fighting, each other for like control of the earth. That one I really want to play. That one sounds awesome as hell.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh man, look at that! Bringing up stuff to me that I have not even looked at for a long time. That's great.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, this one. Egyptian Folder 037 asks, favorite Scream film?
Wow. Yes. Yeah, I'm actually a fan of the whole series. I'm actually one of probably the few people I know that loves them all. Even the new one, the part 4 or whatever. I'm probably, even though I say that, I'm going to give a pretty traditional answer, and I'm going to say part 1, but I'm going to probably say that my second favorite would be part 4, which is really a bizarre thing to say. But yeah, 1 is probably still my favorite, man. I saw it 3 times in the theater. So.
Wow. I have not seen the 4th one, sadly. So, but I'm gonna go with your answer and say the first one, only because I love Henry Winkler as the freaking principal.
Oh my god! Yes,
I thought he did an amazing job in that movie.
Oh my gosh! And that was like the first. That was like the first movie too, and it like in the '90s where it was kind of becoming like self-referential horror.
Yes.
That was just such a fun and wild time, man, in the theater. So it was great. It was totally 90s too. It was great 90s, yeah. So definitely the first one I would go with.
And did you know I didn't know this till like a few weeks back that Wes Craven actually passed on doing the film?
Yeah, I did hear that.
It's like he just didn't want to do it, and I'm like, what? They
Yeah.
asked him like 3 or 4 times, and the only reason that he got pulled in was because he thought Drew Barrymore was going to play the lead character. And that's what drew him in. And then she drops a bombshell on him and saying that she only wanted to be in the opening sequence. And he thought about quitting after that, but you know, I guess I don't know. Somebody convinced him to stay. So it was
Yeah.
like, what?
That like if he didn't do that, his career got a resurgence because of that franchise. So
Right, because he thought that, you know, he was of course he had done, you know, the Nightmare on Elm Street stuff, and he said that he was kind of like bored of the whole horror genre thing, and he just wanted to move on and do other stuff. But you know, he saw the potential in the script, and he's like, you know, he looks at it, and after, you know, a few times passing it over, he was like, you know what, why not? This could be, just like you said, a resurgence in my career, and of course a resurgence for the horror genre.
oh my gosh, yeah, and it's funny, man, because the movie, a lot of people forget how brutal that movie is. I mean, there's some serious kills in that film.
Yeah, like what do they call it? The scene 118 is like the bloodiest film in like film history. The bloodiest scene in film history.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my gosh, it was definitely an R-rated horror film too. I mean, because you know a lot of people think that PG-13 films are the only horror films that do really well, but that couldn't be further from the truth. You know, Scream was all R.
Well, didn't they want to originally put that as NC-17?
I think they did. He had to make some very minute cuts on some, no pun intended, on some of the gore or whatever. But the first scene of Drew Barrymore getting killed,
Yeah,
gosh, that was crazy.
she comes out and she's basically crucified on the back lawn.
Oh my gosh, it was out of control. Yeah, and to see Drew Barrymore, funny, cute Drew Barrymore,
Just like, sing. I'll gut you like a cat if you hang up on me again.
it was great, man, because you also brought in that whole killer on the phone genre, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good job, that person that called me just a few seconds ago. You set up the tone perfectly. Oh, man. All right. Let's go to another question. Okay, Soot Velvet asks, if you could have lunch with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Oh man, historical figures. So I guess that means anybody in history, not just the guys in our history books.
That's what I'm gathering from the question.
Because
Yeah.
my fear in answering this question, Chris, is that I will be made to look as someone who does not really care much about the figures that have changed our country. But I mean, right off the bat, I'm going to name an actor, actually, somebody who I value their work a lot, and somebody who, you know, died before I could, you know, ever have a chance at a convention or anything. But his name is Joe Spinell.
Okay.
And
I've heard of Joe Spinell.
He was in Maniac. It was a film called Maniac. They did a remake recently with Elijah Wood, but it's a film from the early '80s. And he's the lead, and he's a serial killer in the film, and it's from his perspective. And his acting in that film and his whole character just blows me away. So if you ever look that up, Maniac, it is definitely a film that you won't forget for a while after you watch it.
I think I have heard of it. Didn't they make a remake of that film? Or
Yes, with Elijah Wood.
Elijah Wood. Okay.
Yep.
Because I know there's a few movie reviewers that I watched on YouTube, and they were mentioning that movie. They're like, oh yeah, you know, the original is great, but Elijah Wood just killed it in this remake. And I'm like, oh, I never even heard of the original. So
Yeah, good stuff. And the guy that did the makeup in the original was Tom Savini, the guy that did,
right,
you know, all that stuff. So
wow.
what about you, man?
Fair historical figure, man. This is a loaded ass question. Let me see.
Now, Chris, if you say like Napoleon, no pressure, but I'm going to be made to look like a total fool.
No worries, dude. Let me see. You know what? I'm going to go with, since we've been referencing the guy damn near all night, I'm going to go with Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh my gosh, that's a great one, man. That's a great one.
I mean, this is like, I would love to know what the hell was going through his head when he was writing some of this stuff.
Opium.
Yeah, the
No,
opiates.
not all of it. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's a great one, man. That's a great one.
I would like it's him. It's between him. Of course, I would love to talk to Lovecraft too.
Oh yeah.
Um, another historical figure. God, there's so freaking many. Oh man. Roosevelt. I would love to talk to Roosevelt.
No, that's yeah, definitely.
Love to talk to him. Maybe Lincoln. You know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, definitely on the top of my list, I would go with Poe.
Have you been to his house in Philly?
No, no, I've not.
Definitely, if you're that interested in him, it's definitely a cool October excursion. Definitely, man.
Now, was he born in? I mean, did he live there, or was he born in Baltimore?
There's always a lot of confusion about this, but he actually lived in Philly for a period of time. I believe this is always a confusing topic. I believe he didn't die in Philadelphia. I do not believe he died here, but he lived here for a period of time, and he wrote a couple of his really big works while in Philly.
Right.
And his wife, actually, which was his cousin, was dying in the house in Philadelphia of tuberculosis. So
right, she had TB when she was like what, 19 or something.
I mean, I would have loved to have said she was 19. I think she was actually like 14 when he married her. And
yeah, he was like 14 when he married her, but I think she caught the disease when she was like 18 or 19. I mean,
okay, yeah, something like that. But he was a lot older, man.
Yeah, he was like 14, 15 years older than but you see, back then that was kind of normal.
Yep.
So, you know, a lot of people like to look at him and like, oh God, you know, what a weird dude. I was like, put yourself in his position. Put yourself, you know, back in the 1830s, back in the 1840s. You know, he didn't have a lot going for him.
Yep.
You know, he was basically, you know, his mother died when he was 3-4 years old. He was fostered by, you know, this jackass of a foster father, didn't really care about him at all.
Yep.
You know, his you know, foster mother passed on when he was young. So he had really nothing. I mean, you know, he got placed in with I think it was his aunt, and then he lived with his, you know, cousin who would become his future wife. But that was normal back then, you know?
Yep. Oh yeah. You know. No, definitely, man, definitely. He was I believe now that I think he died in Baltimore, and he was always terrified because he had some weird disorder also. I don't know what the name of it is today, but he would routinely just black out and his heartbeat would come down to the slowest beat possible. And so because of that, he was terrified that somebody would mistake him for being dead and he'd be buried alive.
Oh, wow. I did see that. I didn't even know about.
That's why he wrote so much stuff about, like, you know, I guess being buried alive and
right, like Cask of Amontillado and
yeah. So I mean, he was terrified of waking up and being in a coffin. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was a common fear back then too.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just him.
Right.
But all right, I'm going to ask you since we're talking about this, what's your favorite Poe work?
My favorite Poe work, and he's the one guy that I probably have the most reading on for a lot of them. You know, you actually name dropped it. There's a couple, but I'm probably gonna have to go with the Cask of Amontillado, because oh man, just the twists in that film, and just I also like the was it the Black Cat?
Yes.
Yeah, that. Oh my gosh, man, that is awesome. I'm probably, you know what? Now that I just said it, I might go with the Black Cat. I'm gonna go with the Black Cat. And there was a movie. There have been many movies based off of it as well. But that one creeped me out to no end. And it involves, whenever it involves a cat in some ways, there's a certain creepiness to it. So yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna go. I'm back and forth. I'm back and forth between The Fall of the House of Usher and The Telltale Heart.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's another great one, man.
That was I first read that. This is how I actually got first introduced to uh, Edgar Allan Poe. When we read the Telltale Heart in, I think it was in fourth or fifth grade, and just reading that story just creeped the living hell out of me. You know, hearing like just reading the narrator and it's like, I'm not insane and I'm gonna prove it to you right now. And you know, every description he makes is just the ravings of a lunatic.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, this is such a great freaking story. And then like at the end where he gets caught by the cops, you know, he basically does it to himself because he's hearing the heartbeat in his own imagination and he's letting the cops know he's here, but he's not. I was like, that story just, oh man, that's when I got hooked on Poe.
Yep. Yep. Oh yeah, you're right, man. You're right. And he went right for the jugular in those things. There was and a lot of people don't even realize too, like he wrote so much stuff too that was like not even creepy, not even horrific. He was a very interesting guy, but obviously he's most known for his horrific work. Yeah. Oh,
And you know, it wouldn't be, I know to a lot of people it wouldn't be considered like, you know, particularly scary by today's standards, but what people have to understand is they're so desensitized by, you know, the stuff they see on screen. You know, they see all the gore and all the violence and stuff, and what they fail to understand is what true horror is the psychological aspect of it. And I mean, that's just the way that I see it.
Yeah, yeah. And
you know,
yeah, exactly.
And you know, that's what Poe did so well in his stories is he puts you into an atmosphere that's, you know, kind of classic archaic gothic type horror, you know, setting. And he just, you know, every squeak, every sound, every description, every this, every that, every wisp of the wind or voice that he hears, you know, it just immerses you in that world, you know, and you don't know what's behind the next door. You don't know what's behind the next corner. And that's what makes it truly terrifying.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. There's, as I've gotten older, of course I fear the guy that breaks in or the killer or something supernatural. But there's something when Poe would write, there's something about losing your mind
Exactly.
as you get older, and you fear kind of maybe losing your mind or losing control. That is something that I feel Edgar Allan Poe is really targeted.
I mean, he was an absolute master of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just, you know, it's just, you know, and I guess his real life parallel with his stories. They always say art imitates life.
Yeah.
And you know, he had so much to draw from the misery of it. Have you seen that movie that came out, I think 2 or 3 years ago, The Raven?
Oh, with John Cusack?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people, you know, were putting hatred on it, but
oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought it was very atmospheric. I thought John Cusack did a great job in it.
He killed in that role. That was easily Cusack's best work that I've seen.
I thought he did something special in that film.
I mean, he embodied Edgar Allan Poe just like that. I mean, just like you say, you know, Harrison Ford, he is Indiana Jones. Wesley Snipes is Blake. John Cusack is Edgar Allan Poe. That's just the way that I see it.
It sounds crazy, you know, hearing somebody say that, but when you see the movie, you realize, man, he did an amazing job.
Absolutely. I mean, when I first saw the ads to that, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. I mean, you're having Edgar Allan Poe, you know, solve his own mystery murders. This you can't get any better than that. Like, this is so badass.
Oh, it was great. Very, and it almost, the movie was almost done in a way you could picture Edgar Allan Poe's world, you know.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Oh man, did we skew on a tangent there?
Oh, a good one, yeah.
A good one. All right, next question we have off Tumblr. Tom Thumb, where the hood at? My God, some of these handles. Jeez. All right, he asks, vampire or lichen?
Yeah, well, you know what? Of course, I'm a fan of both of them, man. But anybody who knows me and probably who looks at me would know that I'm gonna go with lichen. But I love the Universal classics, man. I love them and I love the new stuff. But when I watched the original Wolfman with Cheney, there's something about that character of I'm scared to death of what's gonna happen at night because I'm gonna turn into a beast. There's I maybe I can relate to that more, like every time you get angry or something. But yeah, that I'm definitely gonna go with Lycan. I love it, man. I love Ginger Snaps. I love all the werewolf movies. So yeah, that's probably me there.
Well, I'm gonna go right with you. I'm Team Lycan all the way. No disrespect to vampires, but I mean, come on now. Team Lycan all the way. It's just like, I mean, if you watch Underworld, that's basically what got me into the whole werewolf type thing. Is like, oh man, they're so badass. Come on now.
Oh yeah,
you just can't. All right, and we have a viewer asking a question finally over an hour in the stream. Big Bert, welcome, dude. He asks, favorite John Waters movie.
Ah man, this is Big Bert, man. You're like a man after my own heart here. Oh, Big Bert. Look at Big Bert. All right. I'm actually, John Waters is from Baltimore, and it's not too far, but I'm actually a very big John Waters fan, and I'm probably gonna have to go with his classic
Pink Flamingos.
I'm gonna have to go with Pink Flamingos.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that.
You know what? I've seen a good number of his films, and I love them all. They're complete madness and chaos. And I have to say, I saw Pink Flamingos for the first time with my wife, and she, at one point during the film, turned around and looked at me and, "Are we watching a porno?"
Yeah.
So I just and she enjoyed it ultimately, but during the film, she was so flabbergasted by what she was watching. So I'm gonna have to go with Pink Flamingos.
You know what? I'm right with you. I'm not really a big fan of John Waters as it is, but when I saw that movie, I'm like, this is so insane. The acting is so bad that you instantly love it.
Oh, it's and even to today's standards, it is completely shocking.
It's complete madness is what it is.
It is. It totally is, man. It totally is.
It's like, I mean, like there's basically no plot to the movie, but just two like insane families going at it.
Yeah, yeah. And I cannot believe the movie is now heralded as a piece of like American art. Like I can't believe that it's like in the Film Institute or something. Like
didn't they put it in the National Film Registry or like as like culturally significant or something like that?
I think they did, and I think that it's it's wild because like that's like the Jackass movies. There would be no Jackass movie, I think, if it wasn't for John Waters.
If it wasn't for John Waters, right?
Like, and that's like putting like everybody constantly. The critics always bash the Jackass films. But then they put Pink Flamingos in
at the forefront.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's wild, man. I think everybody remembers the time they saw that. Yeah.
Oh man, what is something? Because I've seen other John Waters movies, but they're just not coming to me right now. That's the only one that I can really remember is Pink Flamingos.
Well, he did the one that's not that shocking. That's very popular. He did the original Hairspray.
Did he?
He did the original one, yeah, and he did like he actually, speaking of Jackass, he did one with Johnny Knoxville, and I think he did one with Christina Ricci, and yeah, so he's done a lot of stuff.
Wow,
he's a wild dude though, man. He's a wild 80-something-year-old guy, yeah. With that pencil-thin mustache.
Oh yeah, that's like his trademark right there. His pencil-thin freaking mustache.
Man, that is a creepy stash.
Freaking Fu Manchu, whatever you got going on. All right, Big Bird once again asks, Boy George or George Michael?
Yo, who is Big Bird?
I don't know, but thank you for asking these questions, dude. I'm gonna go with George Michael.
You would?
Yeah.
You know what, man? I'm gonna have to disagree here because this is crazy. The first album I ever owned and I got Culture Club's Color by Numbers, and which had Karma Chameleon on it, and whatever messed up family member. Yeah, boy, that was the first album I ever had.
Wow. And the reason I choose George Michael, because this is actually kind of a funny story. They took a home video of I believe it was my second or third birthday back in 1984. And whenever I watch the video now, you could clearly hear a George Michael song in the background. So that is forever burned into my memory.
Which song, man? Which song?
My God, I'm trying to remember the song right now.
Are we talking Solo Michael or Wham?
No, Solo Michael.
Solo Michael, okay.
God, what is the name of that song? It's burned into my memory, but I can't remember the title.
I would assume it's not I Want Your Sex. That's probably not it.
No. It's
Faith?
Yes, that's it. Faith.
Faith. There we go.
That was the one. It was like, you actually have this playing at a freaking 3-year-old's birthday party in the freaking background. I'm like, you guys are awesome. I hate you.
Because you gotta have faith. Yeah, man. Oh, that was great.
Baby. All right, Bert. If you're more than we're up to 6 viewers right now. Please, people, please ask us questions. We're here.
Chris, I have a confession along with Bert's question here. I have a modern day 2015 confession that I actually bought tickets to see the Culture Club reunion tour.
No, you didn't.
And then freaking Boy George cancels because he has problems with his vocal cords or something.
Really?
So
how old is he now?
Little confession out there for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. How old is Boy George now?
Oh my gosh, he's got to be in his 50s. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah, at least. So yeah, I mean, but whatever crazy family member bought me that tape, they forever changed my life. Yeah.
Yeah. For better or for worse?
I don't know. I would say better, but maybe worse too.
Oh man. All right, let's go to another Tumblr question we have here. Oh, this one's an interesting. Okay, Fluctuations Death asks, do you think Kate Beckinsale was hotter in Underworld or Van Helsing? We were just talking about vampires and lichens too.
Great question. Great question. I'm going to have to go with the Underworld.
That's what a lot of people will say. I'm sorry. I'm going to be the oddball out here and say Van Helsing. I just love her with that long hair and that Romanian accent.
You know, and this is the weird thing, man. Typically, I'm always long hair. Like I'm always long hair. But there's something about the Underworld film. I don't know what it is. It's like her like kind of her fierceness in that, like her fighting and her like, I don't know what it is.
Her eyes are incredible in the Underworld movies. I love whatever she's wearing. I don't know if she's contacts or they're doing camera tricks, but I love her eyes. And you know, she is, you know, just a naturally gorgeous woman. Oh, but yeah. I don't know, it's just something about her saying Van Helsing in that Romanian accent. It's so freaking sexy.
And you know what? I love her natural accent too. I love her British accent.
Right. And she does like, I mean, she hides it so well whenever she's like, has to do like, you know, an American role. Like, I don't know if you ever seen the new Total Recall.
No, but I saw pieces of it online and I saw her in there and I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, her accent just, I mean, it flows just so well from British to American to whatever accent she's doing. She's just such a talented actress.
Yeah, she definitely is. And of course, I mean, we're talking about her hair and her face and everything. Of course, you know, her outfits are a little wild in the Underworld series, of course. Of course, you know.
Well, that's part of the appeal.
Yeah, of course.
She got that tight cat suit and that trench coat. Yeah.
And what is she pushing? She's got to be in her 40s.
I think she is.
So we got to put her up on the list of hot women in their 40s.
In their 40s, and you don't get many of them, let me tell you.
She's up there.
She is definitely up there. And I think she's married to, what's his name, that director, Les Wiseman, right?
Yes.
And she just had her first kid, like, not too long ago, right?
Oh, my gosh, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
So, Man, she held up for a while. Wow. Oh, Les Weissman, you bastard. Anyway, let's see. All right, since we're on the subject of females here, last calling 590 asks, blondes or brunettes?
All right, Chris, why don't you start off on
All right, I'm gonna take this one first. Yeah, you know what? I don't know what it is. I just have a thing for blondes. I don't know what it is. That's just me, you know. Nothing against brunettes. I love brunettes, but yeah, I'm gonna have to go with blondes on this one.
Now, when you say blonde, Chris, now do dirty blondes count?
Absolutely.
Okay, dirty blondes count. Okay. Because I feel like a lot of the time you see, I feel like I see more dirty blondes than just like
like you know the bleach blonde ones.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's just like more of a natural color, the dirty blonde.
Oh yeah. You know, when I go to this here, the funny thing is, I will my wife says to me, my wife's a brunette, and she says to me, my gosh, she's like, all the girls that you like typically in movies that we watch or whatever, she's like most of them are blonde.
Yeah. Can you explain this?
She's like, what is happening here? She said they're either blonde or they're redhead. They're either you know, those two there. And but the weird thing is, at the same time, brunettes, there's something like really unique about them. Like, I don't know if you know the pinup model Betty Page from like the 50s and 60s.
Yes, I do.
She's somebody that, like, to me, like, kind of epitomizes like what I love about brunettes. But I also love blondes. So it's a hard question. It's a very hard question for me because because I'm almost on equal footing with both of those.
Wow.
But I also like red hair too. So it's you know, it's a whole nother.
So yeah, you don't discriminate, do you?
I don't
just all over.
There is no discrimination as long as the hair is long.
There you go. You know what? I used to be like that too, and I still do kind of prefer long hair. But let me tell you, some women can pull off the shortcut so well.
You're right, man. You're right. You are right. It's a rarity, though. I find it's a rarity.
It is a rarity. It is a rarity, but they are out there. So,
yes.
But man, sheesh. I've had my let me see. I've always loved back when Uma Thurman, when she was in Batman and Robin.
Oh God.
She had that flaming red hair, man. She got me on that one.
Yes. I definitely. And then, you know, even Uma, when she like in Kill Bill and stuff like that with the blonde hair.
The blonde hair, right?
It works. It's just there's just something. But redheads are really rare a lot of the time, so it's almost like you know, you never really know when you're gonna see one.
Right. Have you heard? This is kind of going off topic, but have you heard that I don't know if it's a rumor or not. I think it's a rumor that they're saying that blondes are going to be going extinct by like 2050 or something.
What?
Yeah, I heard. I don't know if it's like a TV trope or something, but that's what I heard.
That is crazy, man. Because you know what? I heard the opposite. I heard that redheads were going like there was a problem. They were becoming more of a minority or something.
Yeah, well, they've always been around because one of my best friends, he's a Matthew, if you're watching this, yes, I'm referencing you. And every time you call him Irish, he goes off the board because he's like, I am Scottish. I am Scottish. There are more redheads than just Irish. And I'm like, all right, dude, chill.
Yep. Yeah, you don't. Yeah, that's a very dangerous line right there. Yeah.
to get him. All right. Big Bird once again asked, do you enjoy Halloween 3 despite it trying to move away from Michael Myers? Why or why not?
I don't know if you can, I don't know if you can see my arms up.
Yes. I enjoyed Halloween 3. I really did.
I love it, man.
Season of the Witch, I thought it was great.
Yep. Love it.
A lot of people probably don't realize this, but John Carpenter wanted the Halloween franchise films to be a different story every film.
That's right, man. That's right. Can you imagine how awesome that would be?
That would have been great, but
Oh,
I mean, everybody loved the story of Michael Myers so much that they just kept on. And you know what? I don't think John Carpenter had any involvement beyond Halloween 3, right?
no, not really. I mean, no, he didn't. He didn't. He really didn't. And Halloween 3, man, there's just a special magic about Halloween 3. That the Colonel Cochran.
Absolutely. It's just like
Uh,
that whole stupid TV commercial jingle. I just found that so creepy when I first watched it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and the fact that they're killing kids,
yes,
that's crazy.
very reminiscent of Children of the Corn.
Yes, yes, and anybody. Hey, man, you brought it up with your friend, and anybody who's Irish. I think was Cochran Irish or Scottish?
I think he was Irish,
I think he was Irish. Okay, so
if I'm not mistaken. Please don't kill me, anybody, if I got that wrong.
and no red hair in that film. I don't remember any red hair.
I don't remember it. Yeah, well, it's been years since I saw that film anyway, but oh man. All right, let me go to another Tumblr question. All right, free HTC M89. God, where'd you come up with that handle, dude?
Oh boy.
Asks, who was your first celebrity crush?
You go, man. You go, Chris.
Let's see. My first celebrity crush. All right. She was an actress in the, I think, late 60s, early 70s. Her name was Linda Harrison.
Oh my gosh.
She was so freaking hot. My God. That I would dream about that woman day and night.
Oh yeah.
That was my first celebrity crush. Kind of still is.
I'm gonna go with the woman who played Wonder Woman in the original TV series.
Who was that?
What was her name? What was her? Oh my gosh, what was her name?
See, we're gonna look it up here.
I know the original Wonder Woman. Linda.
Come on.
Oh man,
Google to
like
come up here.
She's like a staple. Oh man, this was like the late 70s.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter.
Linda Carter. I was, when that TV show would come on, I had to be 5 years old, and I was just completely obsessed with her. Yeah. Completely obsessed with her. Yeah. And she was a brunette. I got to tell my wife, she's a brunette.
She's a brunette. There you go.
There you go.
But let me see. From Linda Harrison, it went to. Oh boy, I'm trying to think. Linda Harrison, it went to Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Then after her, it was Eva Mendes. Oh my God. And I don't think I've had anybody say, I think she's like my one. Yeah. No, you know what? What was the one girl in Jason Takes Manhattan? Like the lead.
Oh, the lead, the like the conservative girl?
Yes.
I forget her name, but I know who you're talking about. Yep.
Jensen Daggett.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my God, I was enthralled with that woman when I saw that movie. I'm like, I don't care about Jason anymore. I just want to see her.
Oh yeah, I know exactly who you're talking about, man. Yeah, and she was like the real like conservative one. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. She had me. I was like, oh man. And I never saw her in any other film.
Nope. No, she really hasn't done anything else, but she'll do horror conventions though sometimes in Jersey and stuff. Yeah.
Oh boy.
You might have to go and stalk sometime.
I was in love with you and Jason. I just love that whole movie, Jay. I mean, it's so corny.
Yep.
But it's just like that one, the guy getting his head punched off of at the top of the roof. That was awesome. Yeah. And see, that film gets so much flack because they're like, oh, well, only the last third of the film actually takes place in Manhattan. I was like, well, you have to understand the kind of budget that they were working with. They couldn't really afford that much to be shooting in in Times Square. But I thought that the time that they did spend in the film in actual, Manhattan, New York City I thought they did it quite well.
I agree, man. I agree. I thought it brought a lot of flavor to it to put it in Times Square.
All right. Big Bird once again asked, Never Ending Story or Goonies? And yes, we know. We just figured out that it was Linda Carter. So
Yeah, that's right. I right off the bat, I got to go Goonies.
yeah, Goonies all the way for me. I pretty much don't even remember. I mean, I know I've seen the Never Ending Story, but I don't really remember anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it made me want to read a lot.
Yeah. All I remember that is like a giant flying dog too, right?
Yep. But the Goonies, I still watch every year, man. Yeah, I love that movie so much.
Goonie, that's just such a classic. I mean, like it was one of those sleeper hits that they didn't even expect to do well, and it just ran away.
Oh my gosh, they're trying to figure out a part 2 right now. Also,
I heard about that. I don't know how they're gonna do that though.
I know.
I mean, what's his name? The lead kid that played Mikey. I know he still acts because he was in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
As Sam. I don't think he's that old, but I don't. They have Corey Feldman. Didn't he do like? There was a rumor that he did porn for a while there.
He did. I believe. I don't know if he was doing like the straights, like hard. I think he was doing like soft core,
like core stuff,
like Showtime late at night stuff. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think that's true. I think that's actually true.
I know he's still kind of in the acting game, but everyone else, I haven't heard anything.
No, Chunk.
Yeah, Chunk and Mouth. Oh no, Mouth was Corey Feldman.
Yeah.
His brother, the older brother.
Oh, Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, that is him.
He's huge, man. Oh my gosh. Yeah, he blew up to. Oh, by the way, let me just put this out here for the record with Goonies. The cheerleader girl with the slightly red hair in the movie.
Yes, yes.
I was completely obsessed with her.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I could never really get into her too much myself, but yeah, she was another one that a lot of teenage boys were ogling at the time the movie came out.
Yeah.
But oh my god, yeah, I can't even believe that was Josh Brolin, freaking Jonah Hex.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the Goonies, man, it's a movie from your childhood. It feels like it doesn't lose its power.
No, I don't think it ever will.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's I'll have to go with Goonies all the way.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me go with another Tumblr question here. Reaper 2014 Champions asks, favorite horror icon?
Gosh.
Loaded question.
You go, man. You go first.
My God, you're asking me to favorite horror icon. There's boy. All right, I'm gonna say Jason.
Wow, you're gonna go with Jason.
I'm gonna go with Jason.
A very worthy icon right there. I mean, obviously. And do you have so you say Jason? Do you have a favorite Friday? Would it be?
Absolutely. My favorite Friday would be Friday the 13th, Part 2.
Me too, man.
Part 2, where they introduce Jason.
I agree.
I like that one, and you know what? It's surprising. I really enjoyed the remake. I really did.
Yeah. I don't think it was as bad as some people were saying. No.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, basically what they did was they took the first 4 movies and they just made it all into one.
Yep.
And I'm still waiting for a sequel because there was like the biggest sequel hook at the end of that movie, and we never saw anything from it.
This November.
Really?
Yeah, and hey, man, this is a year with 3 Friday the 13ths in it.
Yes.
So yeah, they're gonna release it in November, Friday the 13th.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna go with from Part 1 from the original. I'm gonna go with Leatherface from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh boy.
1972's Leatherface. To this day, his performance in there and just it's just terrifying to me. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the original Leatherface. Yeah.
What was that guy's name? That Gunnar Hansen.
Gunnar Hansen, yeah,
Yeah.
Gunnar Hansen, nicest, quietest guy in the world, and he plays this
psycho.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he writes poetry, man. Yeah.
Now, did he play any of the subsequent Leatherfaces in any of the sequels, or no?
No, he didn't. Supposedly, he wanted to, and they kept turning him down because they didn't want to pay him more money.
Oh my God!
I know. Is that ridiculous? I mean, yeah, but that's how that goes. But yeah, Leatherface. Yeah, there was just I saw that as a teenager at a sleepover, and that was the one movie that really scarred me. I was like, you know what? This is not even fun. Like,
yeah, close to that fun watching horror movies. You're like, all right, this is the one movie that did it for me.
Yep. But oh man, that's awesome. This is your year though, man, because 3 Friday the 13th in 1 year.
In 1 year, yeah.
That's right.
Man, I gotta really look up that sequel though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be in 3D also.
See, I am so I don't get this thing with 3D. It's just like, why?
I know.
It's such an overused and stupid gimmick.
I know. I don't think they're done with it yet. I think they're gonna keep going.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And then they charge you like what 10? It's what $5-10 more bucks for the extra ticket price just to see it in 3D.
You know what? I think a lot of the reason why they make movies in 3D is because it's harder to bootleg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's why the studios love it, because you can't bootleg the movies. So I don't know, but yeah, it's crazy. But we'll still get to see the sequel, so that's cool. Yeah.
Now I have to. Did you see the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, there've been so many. You mean
the one with Jessica Biel?
Yes. The first time I saw it, I actually hated it, and then
did you?
Yeah, isn't that weird? Because I'm so protective of the
original, right?
But then when I saw it a second time, that's when I started to love it. Yeah, so it was weird. I had to give it a chance, and then I was like, oh, this movie's great. Yeah, great remake.
Great. All right, let me go with another Tumblr question here. Okay, I don't know how. Yeah, you're probably familiar with this. Favorite Disturbed song?
Favorite Disturbed song, and you mentioned Disturbed previously, so
yes, I did.
You go first on this one, man.
All right, my favorite. There's so many.
There's so many,
and I'm not gonna go with the cop out down with the sickness. Let me see. I'm gonna have to go with one of their more recent ones, Asylum.
Asylum.
Yes, great song.
Yep. There is a song on. Do you remember the House of Wax remake? With
Paris Hilton.
With Paris Hilton, yeah.
Yes.
But another blonde, Alicia Cuthbert. I don't know if you like her, but anyway, the Disturbed had a song in that movie, and the song's called Prayer. And I don't know how popular the song is, but the song Prayer is one that I think is pretty awesome. But I like all their stuff. I think their stuff is pretty cool.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny that they're one of the few bands where I almost cannot name a bad song.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
And that's very rare of me to say for any type of band, but normally with even with Demon Hunter, I mean my all-time favorite, maybe 4 songs out of every album that they've done I actually like, but with Disturbed, I mean I've downloaded almost they have 4 or 5 albums out.
Yeah.
I've downloaded almost every single song that they have.
Wow.
So I'm a big fan of theirs.
But wait a second, Chris, by this reasoning, they might be your favorite band.
Yeah, I know. That's what a lot of people say. Like, oh man, no, they're a close second. Close second. I mean, don't get me wrong, Disturbed fans, don't kill me, but I do love Demon Hunter. Just they just barely edge out Disturbed. All right, if that's the way that they're gonna go with it. So, oh man. All right, let me go with another Tumblr question here. We still have 3 viewers. If anybody wants to ask any. Okay, I don't know how you're probably familiar with this because we've talked about this during this stream too. Thoughts on Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes remake?
Man, I actually did not see that.
Really?
And I'm a Tim Burton fan, and I'm not a huge Apes fan, but I did not see his remake. I saw the new Apes films, but I didn't see his remake. All I know is that it got totally blasted. I mean, it just got destroyed by people.
Right. I myself, I despise that movie. I thought it was junk. I love Tim Burton and I love his works, but man, he butchered that franchise. That's just my opinion.
That's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
So, but yeah, I am not a fan. I mean, the costuming was phenomenal. I mean, the special effects in that movie were great. You know, the movie looked good, but the entire storyline, and there's no way you're gonna get freaking Mark Wahlberg to replace somebody like Charlton Heston. It just does not work. You know, I'm not all that big a fan of Mark Wahlberg in the first place, but you know, to try to get him to replace such an iconic character and such an influential actor, it's just fail, Mr. Burton, fail.
Yeah, that's all I've heard, man. And I think that might be part of the reason why I was like, I don't know. yeah. But yeah, I mean, it did pretty well in the box office. I think just because it was an Apes film, but I don't know.
And you know, speaking of Apes film, I mean the recent reboot, the Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and the Rise. Oh my God! Me personally, as you know, a diehard Planet of the Apes fan, I thought those movies are phenomenal.
Yeah, very well done.
Oh my God, they are so well done. I'm like, they paid so much respect and tribute to the original films.
Yep.
I was like, wow, they really did them proud. So
they're going to keep that franchise going for years to come, man.
Absolutely. I mean, they've already contracted for a 3rd movie. They're already writing it, so
Yep.
I'm just excited to see where it goes from here.
There's a great future franchise right there. Yeah.
Okay, how familiar are you with the Ghostbusters?
Oh yeah. That's something I actually just picked up. I haven't had them on Blu-ray. I just picked them up.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fan.
All right. Well, the question is from Photo Videos 2996 asks, who is your favorite animated Ghostbusters villain?
Oh, from the animated show.
From the animated show.
Oh,
well, you know what? There have been 2 animated shows so far.
Yeah, there
right?
was the real Ghostbusters
and the Extreme.
Yes.
I enjoyed both.
Yeah, I think my favorite was the real one, which was what, early _90s. I think
that was late 80s, early 90s, right?
Yeah. But yeah, they were all cool. Yeah.
Favorite villain? My goodness, there's so many good ones that they had on there.
Yeah, that's a hard. Let me see.
I'm gonna go with the Halloween god, Samhain.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe you just said that.
The pumpkin-headed god, yes.
Oh,
he was awesome.
Gosh. You know, I mean, anything Halloween, I always, obviously I'm going to cling to. But like, oh man, you know what? Now that you just said that, man, you can't go wrong with that. I don't even want to say anything. Yeah, you can't even go wrong with that. I mean, there were a couple episodes of that series that were borderline like not for kids.
Oh, dude! I mean, the whole thing was just like, yes, it was geared toward children, but I mean, the subject matters that they were so dark.
Yes. I mean, this was not Scooby-Doo.
Exactly.
You know, there were real ghosts in this show. Like, I mean, yeah. Oh wow. You know what, man? I'm gonna have to go with. I want to go with your guy, but I also Oh man, it's so hard to. I remember. I don't remember what they were called, but I just remember this group of like old men, and I don't remember what they were, but I just have this image in my head of this group of old men, and if anybody knows what they were, um, but they all looked the same, and they were just terrifying. But yeah, I mean, the show was, I would think, like one of the first horror animated cartoons.
Absolutely. There
Yeah.
was this other villain. I think his name was the Boogeyman, and he actually gives an origin story for what's his name, Egon, or why he got into ghost busting.
Yes.
Because he used to jump out of his closet at night and scare him as a kid.
Yes. Yes.
He's another good one. I think he was not. He's not my favorite. Some he's still my favorite, but he's still one of the top notch. I think they could even base a movie off him, off that character.
I think it would be amazing to base some of the ghosts, like for future films, on the animated series.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Oh, gosh,
they got so much to work with.
Oh man, I mean, there were so many great storylines in there.
So many great story arcs, so many great characters. Oh man, I have to actually get the entire series on DVD or Blu-ray.
Yeah, I know. They recently put that out. Yeah.
All right. Big Bert once again asks, favorite comedy, horror, Dead Alive, Shaun of the Dead, or another one? Man, comedy, horror. I'm going to go with Zombieland.
You know, man, Zombieland is an excellent.
That was so funny.
Awesome movie. Oh my gosh.
Guy's searching for the last Twinkie. It's his whole motivation in life.
Oh, and when I forget the guy's name, but when he gets on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You know, he named 2 films in there, Big Bird, and I'll go with the film Dead Alive, because that was the first movie that actually, when I watched it, I did not laugh at all. I didn't know it was supposed to be funny.
Oh man.
I was actually nauseous for about 3 days after I saw the film, because it's known to be like one of the goriest movies of all time or something.
Right.
But it's funny, I guess. But after a while, I realized the humor in it. But I'm still grossed out by it.
You know what? Another good one that comes to mind is Army of Darkness.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, of course. Definitely.
That's classic horror comedy right there.
There's a new one that just came out called Life After Beth, which is has like some pretty big actors in it and stuff, but it's like a zombie comedy, which looks pretty good too. So the horror comedy. Some people say that Return of the Living Dead is a horror comedy.
Return of the Living Dead. I didn't see that as a comedy. I thought it was a straight horror film.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know people come up with this stuff, but yeah, typical horror comedies. It's funny, man. I typically don't laugh during them because I'm like watching them like a serious film.
Right. I mean, there's just like there are a lot of people get confused when they say like they see horror movies such as the Scream films. You know, they have a lot of comedy element in them, but they're meant to be straight horror with comedy elements to them.
Right.
And then there's perfect mixes of horror and comedy, like Army of Darkness, like Zombieland,
yep.
Like Shaun of the Dead, that's got to be a close second for me because I thought that movie was awesome. But yeah, I mean, if I have to go with a favorite horror, it had to be either Zombieland or Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, and Zombieland, man, that blew my mind. That was only 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was. It had what's her face? I think it was one of her. Later, Emma Stone?
Oh, well, you're mentioning a redhead.
Yeah, redhead. Well, she's been so many different things. I mean, in Spider-Man, she was a blonde.
I know. Yeah.
So,
yeah, she was in like Superbad. She was in so much stuff.
Yeah, she's been in so much. But yeah, all right. Let me see. Go another Tumblr question here. Okay, Stargate Unsolved asks, oh, this one's a good one. Favorite Roger Corman film?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, man. I mean, how many movies did this man,
He's done so much.
and how many of them do I love? I love them all. Like, oh my gosh. Ah,
Man, this is a tough one. Oh God, I gotta go through these plethora of movies now.
ah. A lot of my collection is filled with Roger Corman. Like a lot of the stuff that I watch is Roger Corman. Um, I'll throw out this one. It's definitely one of my favorites, and it was recently put on DVD. I think about maybe 5 years ago or something by Scream Factory or Shout Factory. It's called Forbidden World, and it's kind of like a play off of Alien, but a lot more low budget, and the creature is weird, and there's a lot of like rampant nudity for no reason in the film. It's just a really bizarre movie. But Forbidden World might be one of the big ones.
Huh? I've never heard of Forbidden World.
Yeah, it's a really it's like a cult film, definitely. But it's I just love it. Just love that movie. Yeah.
Well, my favorite. This might seem like a strange one, but Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh man, that's a great one. That's a great one.
That's my favorite Roger Corman film. I also like his. He did his own version of Frankenstein.
Yes.
I think that was Robert De Niro, right?
Was that Robert De Niro? I think. Yeah, I think you're. Yeah. I don't remember.
I think it was.
He also did back in the day a lot of Edgar Allan Poe stories. Like
yes, he did. He did The Fall of the House of Usher.
Yep. Telltale Heart, I think.
Telltale Heart, he did.
Some great stuff. Roger Corman.
So much good stuff.
He has to be 85 or something.
Yeah, he's up there. My God, he's done so much. Yeah, he was born 1926.
Oh my gosh.
Just looked it up right now. Holy moly.
Gosh.
All right. Big Bird asks, Pee-wee's Playhouse, Big Adventure, or Big Top?
I'm gonna go all the way, man, because it's one of my favorite all-time movies is Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I am gonna have to go with that. Very few films do I have the lines memorized, and that's one of them. Yeah. So, yeah. Although I love all those, I've been watching Playhouse. Actually, I've been watching that recently.
Yeah, I don't know, but the Pee-wee's Playhouse that freaked me out for some reason.
Yeah,
it's so over the top. I'm like, woo!
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, but the movie's great. He's chasing a freaking bicycle the whole time. It's awesome.
There's a new Pee-wee movie coming out.
No, really. With it doesn't have Paul Rubens, does it?
Yeah, Paul Rubens it's going to be straight to Netflix. It's coming out. It's called I think like Pee-wee's New Adventure or something.
Oh wow!
So it's actually greenlit. It's happening. Yeah, crazy. Yo, whoever this Big Bert is, man, he's definitely on my wavelength here.
Yeah, dude, you're loyal, man. Love you. Keep asking him.
Oh my gosh.
All right, one more from Tumblr we have here is Bloodline Watch Trailer 294 asks, are you familiar with the current Sleepy Hollow series?
The current Sleepy Hollow. Oh, I guess they mean the television series?
The television series, right.
No, unfortunately I'm not. I mean, I've heard good things about it, but I don't know much about it.
I will tell you right now, I am a huge fan of the show.
Wow.
I love it. They just got greenlit for their 3rd season.
Oh, wow.
And they are doing some crazy stuff with it.
Oh, that is awesome. So, what channel is that on again?
It's on Fox.
Fox, okay. Okay.
So, I mean, they start off with, the traditional Washington Irving tale, with the Headless Horseman. But basically what it deals with is the Headless Horseman is actually one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Okay.
And, his whole thing is trying to reclaim his head. And once he does that, he will, raise the other 3 horsemen.
Oh, wow.
And, bring about I guess, the end of days, and Ichabod Crane is kind of teamed with this, modern day police officer, and they're trying to stop, Doomsday from coming. They've done so many twists and turns with the series, and they're only in their third season.
Wow.
So yes, whoever asked this, I'm a big fan.
Wow. That's awesome, man. That sounds like a really unique storyline for a Sleepy Hollow television series too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, they've taken a classic story and just basically turned it on its ear. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Come up with some great storylines, great characters. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. So yeah, Sleepy Hollow, love you.
Wow, that's awesome.
Cool. Oh boy. All right, I'm gonna be wrapping up the stream here in a few minutes. I'm probably gonna go through about maybe 2 more questions. Once again, dude, thank you for joining me, man.
Oh, definitely, man. This has been my pleasure. Thank you for or actually I should also thank the person who bailed last minute too.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get her on the next stream, but she had a Comic-Con to go to. So
crap, yeah.
So, and you know what? Wow. Speaking of which, isn't this the next question is asked by known for 23492. Have you ever been to San Diego Comic-Con?
Never, but I've always wanted to.
I have always wanted to as well. I've never been to that one, but I have been one to they have it every year in Atlanta, Georgia. It's called Dragon Con, and it's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the second largest Comic-Con in US. It's not nearly as well known as the San Diego one, but oh my god, it's such a blast. Such a blast.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, I've been to San Diego, but I've never been to the Comic-Con. And that's a dream right there.
Well, don't they have one in Philly, Wizard World?
Yeah, that's actually coming. It's actually coming in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I've never been to that one.
I haven't done that yet either. You know, the ones I typically do are the ones like all the other like kind of straight horror conventions, like that one in Cherry Hill, Monster Mania,
yeah,
all that stuff. But I haven't done the real big ones yet. But yeah, I'm going to check it.
You know what? I mean, I don't know how much San Diego comic. I would imagine it's quite a bit, but Dragon Con down in Atlanta, that's only about, I would maybe say $120 for 5 days.
My gosh, that's not bad at all, man.
Yeah, it's not. You get, full access pass. You get, oh my god, it's. I mean, the convention is in at least 6 hotels.
Wow.
So I mean, it is massive, and it's, oh my god, it's so great. I love. I didn't get to go last year, but I've gone with my friend the past, I think, I want to say 2 or 3 years, and it's been a blast every time. We just spent at least a week out there.
Oh my gosh! It's like a vacation too.
Oh, dude, it's the vacation.
Yeah,
as far as I'm concerned.
Gosh, oh, that's awesome.
All right, and unless Big Bird here has something else, I'm going to go with the last question from Tumblr. Are you familiar with the film Session 9?
You know, man, I cannot believe you just said that, because that is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite horror films.
Really?
And actually, it's actually one of the few films that made me, when I was living on my own, I watched it on a work night, and I actually had to turn it off and leave my apartment.
Really? Got you that bad, huh?
I walked into the parking lot, and I was having some problems. The movie screwed me up so bad, also because something happened to the DVD player during the film, and the sound kept going, but the picture stayed freeze framed.
Really?
It was very bizarre.
That's weird.
The movie just freaked me out. The music in the movie too was just really messed up. It's a really actually, when I go to haunted houses, every time I do a penitentiary or something, it always reminds me of Session 9. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I've heard of the film, but I've never seen it.
It's a creepy man. That movie will get talk about psychological. Oh right. My gosh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
It'll get you. All right. Well, as seen as how we've gone for what, almost 2 hours now.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up right here, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever's viewing, 2 viewers, 3 viewers, whatever, tuning in. Once again, Dante, aka October Panic Attack, dude. Thank you so much for joining me on this stream tonight.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Chris.
And I will definitely have you on the roster for future upcoming broadcasts that we have.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, man.
Once again, everybody, when this is archived, please go and check out October Panic Attack's haunted attraction reviews. Check out his channel. He's got a lot of good stuff on there. He's got a lot of films from his apartment 1014 film company. You know, real creepy stuff there if you're into that kind of stuff, which I am. So,
thanks, man. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, everybody. Stay tuned for our next broadcast. I'm going to be holding it sometime in April, late April, possibly April 18th, somewhere around there. So we're going to continue to have these monthly streams and continue to grow our audience, and you know, just hopefully grow bigger in the process. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, thank you and good night.
Good night.